Hey, this is Augie, Augie's Locker Room. When you come to the store, you're going to see things that you've probably never seen before unless you've been to a museum. Great items that go back to the Rockney era to the present. Website, augieslockerroom.com. Visit us here or the website.
Tim Prister with Tim O'Malley, Instant Analysis. We did not get an opportunity to see practice today, but we did have the chance to speak with Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, John McNulty, for the first time since he's been here doing an interview. He handled himself quite well. Notre Dame's tight ends coach, and then George Takis was here, and Logan Diggs, and Braden Lenzy. But let me start, Tim, first with Tommy Rees. I wanted to know about Oklahoma State. I'm totally ready to start talking about a Fiesta Bowl after everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks. And, you know, it is a concern. They have a very good defensive front. It's multiple. They do not have their defensive coordinator, but Tommy Rees certainly expects that they won't vary too much from what they've done because that's what they know. And it's a challenge for Notre Dame. This is the toughest challenge that Notre Dame has had along the offensive line with this front. They've got two outstanding linebackers. I like their safety, Taylor. They're a good football team.
Yeah, I asked Coach McNulty, is this the best defense you've faced since the Wisconsin-Cincinnati thing? He didn't hesitate. He said, yeah, and we're kind of telling the guys that. They need to know what they're getting into. He said and they're also better than Wisconsin and Cincinnati because we got them, the versions of them in September and early October. Those defenses have grown. So has Oklahoma State. He said, this is the best we'll see. And I asked Tommy Rees and Braden Lenzy, 54 sacks. Do you harp on it? Is it just you need a new clock? And Rees is like, if everything is going right, if we recognize the protections and our quarterback's doing 1, 2, 3 and getting it out, we're okay. But if not, that's when you need to start worrying about it. And of course, Braden Lenzy, a player, just said, yeah, it's in my mind that they had 54 sacks. So I think it is really one of the prevailing themes of this game.
They have to go back to more of a quick passing game, which is when the offense really launched in the fourth quarter against Virginia Tech and then moving forward with Jack Cohn. And Tommy Rees said, well, they got away from that because they were playing some teams that they could, scout things out a little bit longer with the quarterback and drop back and do some more things. But they have to be quicker than that. I spoke with Logan Diggs. Logan Diggs is a pretty low-key young man, but he's looking forward to the opportunity to be the starter in place of Kyron Williams. He said that Kyron Williams has been a huge help to him all season, getting him ready, not so much, the on-field stuff, but just emotionally in dealing with that. And I know that you had a conversation with Braden Lenzy, and one of the best ones you've ever had with Braden Lenzy.
I mean, he is such a mature guy now. He talked about everything from being a freshman at Notre Dame, how hard it is to be a freshman coming here. His journey now, he took 18 credit hours. He has graduated 18 credit hours in the fall with football. He may come back. He hasn't decided yet. If he does come back, he's not majoring in football. He's going to go in the 1-year Mendoza. He's definitely going to go to the Mendoza Business School. I thought the most interesting thing he said was he cut off one of our colleagues who said, these are the 3 receivers that have ever caught 10 passes under Brian Kelly as freshman. And when he got to Lorenzo Styles, Braden Lenzy said, that's the only one I've ever seen that could play as a freshman. That's why he played. He said freshmen would play if they could. I couldn't play. I found that out 2 periods into my freshman year. So it was really revealing conversation. And come to Irish Illustrated to read more about it. But it's one of those almost you need a ridiculous, here's everything Braden Lenzy said instead of a story because it was all interesting. But I'll try to make a story out of it anyway.
Logan Diggs, of course, was asked, and he was previously, but this is our most extensive time with him. And he was asked about hurdling the defensive back against Virginia, and he said, that's illegal in the state of Louisiana as far as high school is concerned.
Oh, really?
The first, he's done it 3 times previously. The first 2 times he did it, they didn't call it. The third time he did it, they called it, and he said it cost them an important football game. So Tommy Rees said he's all good with it. He lands on his feet. He says he protected the one time they did it against Virginia. He protected the football. Rees said he couldn't do it, so he's not going to prevent Logan Diggs himself to do it. And then speaking with John McNulty, what he was asked about, and I wish we could have had this on signing day because we were looking for a lot of comments about the recruits, but Holden Stays and Eli Raritan, he's very high on them. He talked about just the length and the size and the athleticism of Eli Raritan. His hands measure at 11 inches, which is totally freakish. They measure that when they go to the NFL Combine, and 11 is huge, so he's going to catch a lot of passes for Notre Dame moving forward.
Yeah, the conversation with McNulty was revealing. I thought he was really honest about how great Michael Mayer is and how other guys should try to emulate him, but they do give Mayer more because he can have more. He actually compared him to Larry Fitzgerald when he was in the wide receivers room at Arizona. A lot of good stuff about Mitchell Evans, how Evans surprised him that he played. Kane Barong surprised him that he played because he just looked at him as probably too small to play this year. It's unfortunate that Kane had the injury. And he mentioned Kevin Bauman still really just gutting it back. He needs to be fully healthy to be effective. And I think we can see that. I think we saw Kevin Bauman at his best in mid-August. Then he got hurt, and it's just been a journey back. So it's a tight ends room that he loves going forward. He said George Takis is a pro. I did not get to ask George Takis if he's returning, but I'm going to guess it would have been the I'm not sure yet answer. Anyway, we will follow up on that.
We were scheduled for a podcast today, and we wanted to push it back because we wanted to get an opportunity to talk to these guys, and McNulty being the first time we spoke with him. So what we'll do is we'll do incident analysis, obviously here today, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then sit down for a podcast on Thursday to kind of recap everything that we'll have 2 more coaches tomorrow. I'm told that Chris O'Leary and Mike Mickens will be included in that, so it'll be first interviews with them, and then we'll have Coach Freeman, head coach Marcus Freeman, on Wednesday, and then a podcast on Thursday. Thanks for joining us here outside of Notre Dame Stadium and the Irish Athletics Complex. This has been Instant Analysis.